Hello, I hope I'm audible. Please tell us if I are not audible. So, welcome to our part two of the mental health talk. There is always a way out. My name is Sandhyaashree. I'm a holistic lifestyle coach practicing for the past 2 decades. I'm a mother to two beautiful girls aged 21 and 17. As Anthony Robbins said, when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. With total gratitude, I would like to invite tonight's guest, Asha Shivaram, all the way from Netherlands. Asha is a mom, SHARAN nutritionist, health coach, and a lover of animal, children, and nature. At the age of 40, Asha literally took her health into her hands and reversed many health issues like IBS, fibromyalgia, hypothyroidism, anxiety, and slip disc. Oof, that's quite a list, isn't it? Today, she's here with us to share her story and also give us some valuable tips. Welcome, Asha.
Thank you, Sandhya.
So, Asha, I would like the viewers to get to know you. So, as your name is Asha, hopeful, you're always a person just the way you are right now, full of hope, bright, and always having solution for things. So, tell us a little bit about how you were as a young adult and what kind of society you came from.
It's a very interesting question. No, I was not uh, as per my name. In fact, my friends used to call me Nirasha. I was a bit of a worrier. So I would worry about small things. I always wanted things to go as I had planned, and I would get a bit anxious if things changed a bit. I also had a pessimistic attitude in life, and I felt that I always uh, uh, I didn't know how to enjoy my life, and I felt when there was so much of sadness in the world, I could not be happy. I did not give permission to myself to be happy, and I had self-esteem issues. I was shy and awkward around people. I would not open up easily, and I was not confident and relaxed. I always felt like that I had to do something. So this was how I was when my younger self. And I had a very normal South Indian middle class upbringing. So yeah, this was how I was, and that was my personality.
So, you went on to become a software engineer. And how did this switch happen from a software engineer to a health coach?
It was a very organic, gradual transition. So, as you said, I had all these health issues in my 30s. So, one after the other, all these health issues started adding up. And by the grace of God and with my own nature of questioning things and trying out solutions, with the help of other people in the natural healing space, with resources coming from books and from social media and all these things, and with my own self observation, I overcame many of my health challenges. I healed myself, and even from my childhood, from a very young age, I was environment conscious, and I used to make a lot of my life choices based on how it would impact the environment. And when I also helped some of my friends and family members overcome health challenges based on my experience. So I also realized that a lot of these health choices have a good bearing on the environment. So when we live life healthfully, we also live with a very light footprint on the planet. So I decided to combine both these, the health transition and my environment passion. And I thought that being a nature cure educator or a whole plant based nutritionist is the right choice for me as a
Oh,
career.
amazing. But I know it happened organically, but what was that one propelling thought, or what was it that pushed you? Because most of us find it very difficult to kick off a well paying job and get into something like this. I'm sure the environment is a calling, but still, if you can give us how you were propelled or how you dealt with it. And most of us, when we do it, we also have a lot of guilt. Did you experience any kind of guilt?
Yeah, as you know, I was, as you said, I was into software. I was busy with my life, my daily life. Life was just going on, but obviously there were other plans for me. And it so happened that at that time, in 2008, 2012, actually, my son was diagnosed with a hearing impairment. And soon after, my husband also had to move to London for a job. And along with these health issues, and along with the fact that I had to spend more time with my son for his speech development, all these factors put together, I thought about it and I thought that this was the right time for me to leave my job and give more time to my family and for myself personally. And yeah, as you said, it was not easy. It was a quite a difficult decision. I did not know if I was making the right decision. I did not know if I could really help my son. So there were a lot of things going on in my life. So yeah, it was quite a difficult decision for me.
Okay. And did you experience guilt?
Yes, of course, there was guilt that I was no longer earning. And I think as women, we attach a lot of our self-worth with the fact that, we have to probably bring in an income, make ourselves useful, be employed. Yeah, so I went through all these things and I attached a lot of guilt to my actions at that time.
Okay. So, what were the tell signs of health issues that started, which actually started indicating to you that things are not going fine? You know, like an indication from the body, because all that we experience in the physical body is our emotional state. And can you just tell us the kind of health issues that you developed?
It started with being diagnosed with a thyroid problem. Actually, I was losing weight, and that's when I got myself tested, and I soon realized that I was hypothyroid. Started medication, and then I was having a stiff back for many weeks, which I had neglected. And soon after, when I had to pick up my 1-year-old son, my back finally gave away, and I developed a severe slip disc problem. And couple of months after that, I started developing anxiety symptoms. And soon after in London, I also developed IBS, and before that, I also had this fibromyalgia symptoms. So a long list of problems which indicated to me that I was not doing well. These are all different problems as such, but yeah, my body was not doing well, and I was not doing well mentally also.
Okay, so for your anxiety, did you go on any medication?
Yes, for a short period of time. Initially, when I had the symptoms of anxiety, I just visited my a family doctor, and he told me to do deep breathing, and he gave me some medications. Basically it was for sleeping well in the night, but I just took it for 3 or 4 days, and I realized that it just made me unconscious, kind of. I would just be out for 6 hours in the night, and that scared me. I was always against taking medications, and that experience, I felt that no, it's not for me. Medication is not for me. So I didn't take any medication apart from those 3 days. Yeah.
You know, we all realize things quite late. We don't look at the signs that the body gives us. For example, even anxiety, there are lots of ways in which the body tries and communicates to you and says, listen, I'm not doing well, or I'm feeling this uneasiness. And we always brush it aside and say, no, this is not so important. So it'd be really helpful if you can give us a few tips that was signs that you told you that, maybe you're a little too anxious or you're restless, because we all land up only realizing things when we are depressed or we are having panic attacks or, severe repercussions. So if you can give us a few tips on that, on how to identify the viewers who are watching you, or if they have family members, they can be more alert about these things.
Yeah, there are diverse symptoms for anxiety. Basically, I think it always begins with a low grade worrying about even small, choti baate, which others seem to be able to handle well. You're not able to do so well with that. And then I used to have, my heart used to skip beats and suddenly start racing. So that was the first sign. And then a lot of other symptoms started coming up later, like I used to have racing thoughts. I could not control my thoughts. They would just come one after the other, and even you cannot do anything. You cannot meditate. You cannot sit quietly. So they keep going on. And then hyperventilation. You cannot take breaths. You have to take like very deep drawn breaths, and you have difficulty swallowing. You have an emptiness in your head, like you feel very lightheaded, and sometimes tremors in your fingers, unexplained tremors, and then feeling jumpy. You cannot sleep. So these things, these different symptoms may not all come at the same time. They may come at different points of time, and sometimes they may just disappear for many months but then come again. So I went through all these symptoms for almost 3 to 4 years.
Okay. So, turning 40 is a milestone in all our lives and we all celebrate. You did a very different celebration when you turned 40. What did you do?
Uh, I was, actually fed up with myself. I had, I had tried Google and all other kinds of things for healing my health problems, which only made me more anxious. And I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. But I was nearing 40, and I thought that, there has to be something. I need to do something to change my life now. It's a turning point, and I don't want to be the same person I was before. A new life. I was ready for change. And it so happened that I happened to come across Dr. Nandita Shah's video about health in your hands, and all that she said about a plant based lifestyle really touched a chord within me. And on 18th May 2015, when I turned 40, I thought that, this is the time I need to make this change. It feels right to me, and that's when I became a vegan. And soon after, I watched this documentary, Cowspiracy, which talks about how animal agriculture is destroying the planet and how it's related to our food choices. And then all of us in our family turned vegan. So yeah, that's how it was. When I turned 40, I considered it a significant milestone, and I'm so happy I made that change.
You're one of the lucky ones who also got a beautiful gift of when you turned 40 from your family. That's
Yeah, I'm
amazing.
grateful. Yeah.
And you also had a family history of people having diabetes, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, along with the fears I had about my own health problems, I was really worried about developing diabetes and adding to this list of health problems, because a lot of family members were diabetic. And I think that's one of the reasons why, Dr. Nandita Shah's whole video about how, food choices are related to diabetes and how you can reverse it, that really pulled me. And that was actually one of the main reasons I first decided to turn vegan. But then again, I realized how it is all related to also helping the animals and the environment.
Yeah. So, the what was the immediate side effect or the after effects of just changing your lifestyle? What happened? What did you see? Immediate change.
Yeah, all good things. So, almost immediately, my IBS went away within a week. No longer any digestion issues. And, a couple of months after I turned vegan, I realized that I don't have any more anxiety symptoms. So, almost 3 to 4 years of suffering from anxiety and trying out everything from yoga to spiritual practices and everything else. And this was like magic. I realized that all the stress which is there in, the milk products which I was consuming, which came from suffering animals, had caused these hormonal issues and stress in me also. So yeah, anxiety went away, and then my body cleaned up, fibromyalgia and all the other symptoms also improved a lot. And finally, I felt that I had got myself back.
Okay. So now that you're having live foods and it was doing so much to your body, did the sadness, low grade sadness and anxiety totally go away? Were you this chirpy, happy person all of a sudden? Did that come? Because all of us want to be happy, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it did not come immediately. I still had this lingering emptiness within me. I was still looking for what's my self worth, what is the role I have to play in this life. I did not have a job still as such. I did not know what I wanted to do. So that emptiness and my search was still going on. I still had that sadness in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you overcome that void? What did you do to overcome that void?
So I stepped out of my comfort zone and I started volunteering with a vegan organization in the Netherlands. It's called ProVeg. So I
Okay.
volunteered for some time with ProVeg, and then I also started work with the WellCure as a wellness coach because I had gained a lot of knowledge by then. And then last December, I also did the Sharan nutrition consultation workshop, and I'm so happy I joined Sharan, and I'm now working also with them as a nutritionist. So I think this has changed my life completely. I'm very happy helping people, sharing my experience and whatever I've learned with more and more people to bring about this revolution in health and the environment and also for the animals.
Okay. So if you have to give five top remedies, like a tip to our viewers, what would that be that can help someone who's anxious or having a low grade sadness or they are prone to panic attacks? What can they do? Can you give us a few top tips for them?
Yeah, so I think the first one is a mind and body are connected, and you need a good vehicle, you need a good body, you need a sound body to function well. So I would say the first one is shift to a whole food plant based lifestyle, as Sharan says. And the second one is take in a lot of sunlight, because uh, that sets the circadian rhythm, and everything, all the functions are governed by sunlight. So everyone should take a minimum of 1 hour at least of sunshine in a day. The third one I would say is sleep well. Don't compromise on sleep, because it has such a great bearing on your health and well-being, not only physical but also mental. And then the fourth one I would say was, this is what I learned from Louise Hay, who was one of the first self-help authors I read, and which had such a great influence on me. It's about acceptance. Accept whatever is going on in your life and live in gratitude. So everything happens for a reason, and I'm here today because of what happened in my life. So all those small things which you can be grateful for, give attention to that and practice gratitude. And then I think the last one but not the least is find your true calling and live a life with purpose. Attach yourself to a purpose greater than yourself. Work towards it and give it your all. I think this would, like, for me, summarize the five top points.
It's amazing. They're really a lot to think upon, and these tips really vibrate with me. It's amazing, Asha. So grateful for sharing with us this wonderful story. So there were few red flags along the way. Some of it she recognized, some of it she did not recognize. Maybe recognized a little later. But if any of you are here and you have this kind of a issue or you have this feeling within you, please take it as a communication from yourself and do act upon it. The first one I would like to highlight, this low self-esteem that she suffered in very early as a young adult. She was a school topper and was very well educated. She was a software engineer, but always felt that was not enough. She always felt she had to be something more. The fact that you don't feel complete with the way you are and you're constantly looking for that validation from your environment is definitely a communication that you are too anxious. You need to love yourself a lot more, because if you ignore this, it will create more issues as you grow older. Bound by society. Like I said, Asha is full of hope, full of positive things right now. I was so surprised when she told me, Sandhya, when I was much younger, I was so ashamed, or I used to feel so scared to feel joyful, because I was told I cannot be happy. I need to be serious, or need to be very focused. So the society around her put a lot of pressure that she can't be fancy free. Why do we put ourselves in one box? Let's think out of the box. Let's think that we have every right to be happy. When we are happy, we create more happy people around us. In the process, we create a happy society. So please break away from what your society says and just get in touch with yourself. Lack of emotional education. It was so amazing when Asha asked me, Sandhya, I had education where I became a software engineer and I had to study for 15 years to get that education. But there was no education given for me to be emotionally strong. At 35, she was feeling ashamed that she was not able to handle what she was feeling emotionally. And that's when something went on within her, and she said, I never educated myself on how to handle the emotional upheavals that I experience. It's very, very important that we should understand when we go through certain emotions, how to handle ourselves or the people around us who are going through this. So, educate your children, educate your family, and try and educate yourself so that you feel more equipped to live this life. It's very, very important, and it's a fantastic take. And I really told Asha it's a really a big message that you're giving society. And today she encourages her children to speak and allows people around her to express what they are feeling emotionally, because she never even told her own parents that she was feeling low, because she thought it was not necessary or that was not the way it's done. So today we are all more open, and let's open this up even more for our children. Overthinking and overanalyzing is something we are all doing. We are all prone to do this because we feel this is the way we are proactive. This is not being proactive. Overthinking and overanalyzing is a lot of pressure on our mind, body, and soul. I told you guys in the last talk, you should rethink, not overthink. When you rethink, you think about things, how better you can do. So try, when you find yourself overthinking or overanalyzing or going through the steps all over again and again, it is a sign that you are an anxious person. In that early stage, if you keep a check, or if you can just understand, why do I think this way, that kind of realization will really take you a long way, and you will not dip into more difficult problems with yourself. Hating oneself and not wanting to live in one's body. Madhura said it, and again Asha had also told me. I was so fed up of my problem that I didn't want to be Madhura or Asha. I wanted to be someone else. I wanted a new set of issues, or I wanted to have new set of things to do, because I was so fed up. You get so fed up because you're not able to find solutions. As she said, if you are in gratitude, you are going to find solutions. And that's the reason I started this talk saying, when you are in gratitude, fear disappears, abundance appears. So you need to understand this body you need to be grateful for, and automatically you'll find a way. And we are all equipped to find solutions. We just need to be more open. The concept of sharing emotional disturbances or the guilt. Most humans are prone to feel very guilty when they pursue their purpose. They just feel, I can't be so happy. I can't be doing what exactly I want. I need to do things which society says is right. And that's the reason she felt guilty kicking off a job that was well paying. But there was an organically that happened to her. There were tell signs around her which said, this is what you need to do. And she was being there for her child. If we can just remove that guilt away, she would have not developed more health issues. So, guilt is a very fertile land to attract a lot of health problems. So, let's remove guilt. And it's very easy to remove guilt when we recognize it. If you know we are feeling guilty, we can tell ourselves, why should we feel guilty? We took this decision with an able mind. It's an informed decision. This is the best I can do in the faculties that I have or the situation I am in. So you can give yourself a talk, or someone else can give you a talk. And don't feel bad to pursue your purpose. It really takes you a long way. Excessive stiffness in the body. This is something we don't realize. Our body actually communicates when we are not flexible. It says what is happening in our mental state. We are not open to the new ideas, or we don't want to widen our vision of how we can solve a problem. So this is body's way of saying when we are too stiff. If you're having a very stiff body, you lack flexibility, you definitely need to work on your mental health. Do it the way you like to do it. You like to talk to friends, you'd like to talk to a coach. Don't just think twice before taking help. It really helps. Asha did a lot of yoga, did a lot of listening to a lot of people. Finally, when she did the combination with food, is what really worked for her, and it's worked for a lot of us here too. Difficulty in swallowing. Will you ever think the swallowing can be an anxiety issue? See, why we are not able to swallow is we are not able to understand what is happening to us. Again, our body is communicating. I am not able to fathom what is happening. I need help. And it's such a beautiful way to say it to us. It's just that we just go and do a scan and we think that we have a throat issue and then we are popping antibiotics. No, it means you just need to express what is happening inside. They always say, right, when you have throat related issues, it's always lack of expression or over expression. So one of it, so balance it out, understand what is it that you are not able to express, and talk about it. In the face of it, you may look very fine, but if you're having that emptiness within you, you definitely need to address it. Don't wait for serious health issues to address a problem. Feeling aimless and unpurposeful. Even after going into a good space, she found herself a little bit of a void. And how beautifully she found her way through, because she worked towards what was her life purpose. And our childhood days give away who we are. As a child, I was a person who loved to help people. And today, that's what I do for a living. So always go back to a childhood and ask yourself, what is it that which very naturally came to me? What is it that I enjoy doing? And just get doing that. When you enjoy what you're doing, you will not look for retirement at all. Thyroid, IBS, slip disc, fibromyalgia, all these things were body's way to communicate, please take care of yourself. So it's very simple. Just take these signs and say, yes, I have a solution. And Asha is a standing example that you can find a way out. There is always a way out. So the top tips that she gave us were the remedy number one. If you see, Madhura also told us the first thing she did was reduce the animal products she was consuming. Since Asha was already a vegetarian, she just quit all the animal products. So, whoever you are and whatever you're going through, if you're not convinced about it, at least reduce the consumption of animal products for the simple reason what Asha told you. All the stress the animal goes through, you're consuming from the flesh. So please try and understand that this can be a very good step to reduce the stress and anxiety that you are experiencing. Get plenty of sunlight. You know, when you just wake up and then look at the sun is going to communicate to you. It sets your circadian rhythm in the process. Your body gets to know it's sunlight, time to wake up, time to do things with my life. So I have the energy, and by just being out in the sun for some time, you are getting very, very, very good energy into your body, which is going to help you through the day. People just stay indoors in air conditioned place, don't get it. Even in places where it's cold, sun is not out, just go and get some fresh air, and it really helps. When the sun goes down, automatically your body knows you need to sleep, and it's so amazing. The body starts to shut down and starts to relax. This is a very, very vital tip. And don't underestimate the power of sunlight. Sunlight is amazing. Those rays have magical qualities to heal you. And I always tell people, just go, stick your head out, receive that beautiful heat on yourself, and you will see yourself naturally feel a lot better. Routine is something Madhura also told you about, and that's the same thing Asha is telling you. Sleep and wake up at the same time. In the process, you're giving the body a kind of a routine and kind of an auto message that you are going to rest and you are going to wake up and do your chores. You know what happens is when people often ask me, I didn't sleep all night, so I need to sleep during the day. I always tell them, tell your body the time to sleep is at 9:30 p.m. We will go to sleep at that time. Try and fight your sleep. Once you try training your body again and again and again, naturally the body will set into that motion and say, yeah, this is time to sleep. Let me not do anything. Let me just relax and shut down. It will happen and the rhythm will come back. And if you don't sleep 8 hours and you're getting lesser amount of sleep, it's okay. Don't get anxious. Wait for the body to settle down and take more sleep. It will come. Just need to wait and just need to body to understand the auto message that you're giving the body. Remedy number 4, be in gratitude. This is something can be done so beautifully. Pick up any jar at home. Start writing shit about, I'm so glad I could come on this Facebook live talk. You can write something like, I'm so glad that, I'm in a safe home today during the lockdown. You can write things like, I got organic vegetables. I'm in gratitude for that. Anything that comes to your mind and keep dropping it into the jar. When you dip in your mood, all you have to do is the automatic energy supplier that is there in the jar. Open the jar and then read your message, and automatically you'll start feeling better. The jar can do wonders to you. I used to always tell my children to write it as when they were small children. So I would definitely suggest this is something you should teach your children. You can teach older women too, older people, elderly people in the house, because they tend to feel very lonely. So, if you write small chits about how you feel about them and drop it there, when they miss you, they can always pick up that paper and read. It's amazing. You can write a journal, you can make a vision board. It's amazing. And then there's so much good prana in the house, and you're automatically feeling a lot better about life. The last one, attach a purpose. I can't tell you enough about this. This is like a miracle remedy to you. When you work towards your life purpose, a lot of puzzles will fall into place. When you're doing things which is not aligned with yourself and your life purpose, you find a lot of obstacles in your life. I want to narrate a client of mine who runs this beautiful institution, an NGO called Kairasi. And it's run by this young girl who's 29 years old, and it is for disabled artists. So they actually market disabled artists' work, raise funds for them, and give it to them. It's completely done for charity, and there is no benefit that she gets out of it. She's a lawyer by profession. And she told me, she said, Sandhyaashree, I always used to have a low grade sadness in me. But when I started this NGO and I started doing things for others, which does not have any benefit for myself, that's when I realized that, there's so much I get when I'm doing something very purposeful. So do something. It can not be your whole job. It can be part of the job, like Kairasi. I have my sister who works in vegan outreach, and she finds it very, very purposeful. So, I work with Sharan. So there's a lot that you can get. Just find that purpose, and then automatically you will find beautiful things happening to you. These remedies are not just like that told you. They are told by somebody who's lived and who's done this, and she's walking her talk. So, it's amazing. And I personally have experienced many benefit from these remedies, which I have practiced too in my life. So make a note of the 5 top benefits if you want to take a picture of it. And this is what it is. Avoid animal products, get plenty of sunlight, sleep and wake up at the same time every day. Be in gratitude and attach a purpose. Okay, Asha, let's talk a little bit about sleep. Did you ever have issues in sleeping, your sleeping patterns? Did you get less sleep? Did you have any such issues?
Yeah, definitely. When you're having all these body sensations, you cannot sleep. You are having racing thoughts, you cannot sleep. And at this point, I'd also like to mention one thing which I forgot when I was speaking. A lot of people say ki meditate karo, do meditation, think positive. It's all in your head. Just think positive. But it's not so simple, when you are having these problems and when your body is already loaded with all these emotions, and when you're hyperventilating, when you have these racing thoughts, first of all, how can you meditate? You can't meditate at that time. You cannot even sit quietly for 2 minutes without thoughts in your mind. So the other thing is that just break your cycle, think positive and it'll be okay. So it's not like that, it doesn't work like that. You can only do all these things when you're not in that zone, when you're not having all these problems. So even when I had anxiety, I had phases when I was okay, when I was happy. And that is the stage, that is the phase when you have to work on yourself, when you have to actually bring in all these factors and work on yourself. And you cannot do all these things when you're going through this. So that's
Yeah,
how it is. Yeah,
I
yeah, and
told.
definitely, as you asked me, yeah, sleep was a big problem. You cannot force yourself to sleep when you're having this problem. It has to happen naturally. So if someone is having sleep problems with all these issues, don't worry. Worrying that you're not able to sleep is also adding to your worry. So it will
Yes.
happen when you make these changes, and one by one, you are going to get better and sleep better.
Yes, I totally agree with Asha, because a lot of people tell me I've not slept. I tell them it's okay if you haven't slept. If even if it's not slept for a week, it's okay. Allow the sleep to come, it will catch up. And just don't worry. Worry one thing less. The sleep will come. Our body knows to take rest. Some people need less sleep. So just think that you need less sleep and wait for the sleep to come, and don't sleep during the day. Just allow your body to understand a routine. So we have somebody here, Shika, asking how to stay positive when you get a negative vibes from your family. Your family is giving you a negative vibe.
Uh, Fortunately, in my case, my family was supportive. In the sense, I never told my parents about my problems. Now, when I think about it, I don't know why. Maybe because we never discussed such things in our family. So it was only my husband who knew about it. And he was very positive. He was supportive about me. But yeah, I get your question, Shikha. When there are negative vibes within from your family, please also understand that they do not know why you are behaving that way, and let's look at it from their point of view. They are seeing this person, so probably this anxiety is also causing a lot of negative things to come out from you, and they are facing it. So let's also empathize from their point of view. And I think the solution from my angle is self love. So love yourself. Don't try to seek understanding from others. Understand before you seek understanding. So empathize with yourself, have some patience and self love with yourself, and raise your vibrations. As you make these changes, which we spoke about, you will get better. And as you get better, the world around you will also change.
Yeah, especially when you get negative vibes from the family or people around you, people feel maybe you're doing all this to seek attention. And when so automatically you feel okay, I'm not being perceived well. All I would tell at this point to you is, if you get this kind of reaction, Very important is self love and not to hate yourself for the situation you're in. And number two, it's obvious that the people around you need to be educated about mental health. So when you go for some kind of counseling, take them along, educate them, because maybe they need to know themselves. Maybe they are also having their own set of issues. So, don't give up.
Yeah.
Self love will really help. There's someone here asking us about, Vidya is asking, what about chemical imbalances? You have any experience on that?
I don't understand the question. Is she asking about like deficiencies and those kind of things?
She's saying,
I think.
internally when you have a chemical imbalance and that's the reason you develop issues. So, what do you do in those cases?
Possible, it is possible. But I think, from my point of view, do not look at individual um, ways. Do not look at your body as a fragmented unit about this chemical or that chemical. Your body works as a whole. So treat your body as a holistic unit. Make the changes which we spoke about, and these chemical imbalances will also get treated holistically. They will get healed holistically. You don't have to worry about fragmented like sodium deficiency or potassium deficiency and try to take pills for that. Your body is so highly intelligent that it knows exactly what to fix and how to heal itself. And that will happen when we give what our body is designed for. All the things which it expects from nature, the food, the nutrition, the sunlight, sleep, and everything else, and that's taken care of.
Yes. So all the fire remedies will definitely help you to address the imbalances. And the food is whole. The whole food has everything that your body requires. What you are supposed to consume when you consume, you will not need anything from outside to be fed into your body. And it really works. But give it some time. Be
Yeah.
patient. Be kind to yourself. Don't be violent and want a change. It's a violent reaction to put things into your body in a certain form and say, okay, now that you're fed, get yourself okay. The body is communicating. So let's be in communication. So Ratan is asking, how do we cure IBS? Will following vegan and whole plant based cure it fully, or is it a combination of meditation, exercise, sunlight, etc.? A combination of everything helps.
So, Ratan, in my case, I immediately saw results after changing my diet. So that was my case, but it may differ a bit in other people. I always think that the foundation is your food. First, fix what you're putting into your body, and of course, the other factors are also very important, especially sunlight and sleep, because they have a lot of bearing on your digestion. So first work on the food intake, and at the same time also take in the other factors, and trust me, it really helps. It will help you.
Yeah, the combination is important, but food plays a very vital role. It's
Mm.
like really the one which propels it forward, and then the rest are all add ons and keeps you on track. Mary is asking, how do you maintain what you have now acquired, Asha? That is, keep the spirit up all the time.
Uh, I'm human, so it's not that my spirits are high all the time. I do, just like other people have phases in which I don't feel so good, and other phases where I feel so happy and full of gratitude. So I think the key word is acquired here. I know the value of good health, and I always take actions to give priority to myself, to my health. I make time for myself, and I mean, looking after yourself and loving yourself is so important. So when you make time for yourself, you are going to value what you have, and I think that's how it works. And also, don't be obsessed only with yourself and your issues, your life. When you make your purpose in life bigger than yourself, you are going to take care of yourself, because you know there is something bigger for what you're working for. And I think that really helps you keep your spirits up. And also take help from hearing, listening, reading authors, self-help books, and mixing with the community, the company which you like to keep. So all these factors definitely help.
Yeah, Mary, it's not like, you're there all the time and feeling great. You do have the dips, and because you've done this, acquired knowledge has come to you with your own doing. Definitely, you know how to work upon yourself because you've educated yourself on building your emotional health. Manoti, when anxiety issues are related to certain situations, example, tremors of neck due to anxiety, how to handle it?
See, as I said, there I had a lot of different symptoms. Uh, Initially, when I started having these symptoms, I used to analyze each symptom separately. Okay, why are my fingers having these tremors? Why is my heart racing? Am I having a heart attack? Am I having this? It was too much. I was already loaded, and I used to overthink, and I used to Google and overanalyze. So I would say that please don't. I know someone is going through this and having these problems, but don't over focus on these issues. They are your body's external symptoms. Work on what is inside, work on these holistic factors, and you do not have to worry about individual symptoms. When you take care of the cause, when you handle the root causes, all these problems go away on their own.
Yes, like how Dr. Nandita always says, there's no particular diet for particular disease. It's the same thing. You just change your lifestyle, and all that is not required will just leave you. So, Neelam, do you agree to take medicines for anxiety?
I think it's different for each person. In my case, I did not want to take, and I always feel that if you seek help early on, you do not need to take medicines. But I don't judge people for taking medicines. If you are already on medication, please do not stop them immediately. It has to be done in a phased out manner. And medicines, anyway, never heal. They are never going to address the root problem. So, no medicines for lifetime. Try to phase out and get out of medication.
Yeah, definitely don't stop anything that you are having. It needs to be weaned off by a medical practitioner and go through the entire process with loving care, and you will be fine. How can we increase our happy hormones? I think her 5 remedies will definitely help you to increase your happy hormones. I'm sure Asha agrees with that.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as
Happiness is
homeostasis.
a natural state of mind, it's the natural state. Like, look at children, they are happy, right? So that's a natural state. We don't have to strive and, really strive for happiness. Once we take care of our lifestyle, it's a natural state to be.
Yeah. So Shika's asking, what about when you are already a healer and in a good positive state, but there are few family members who are not too much or who are into too much of shouting and all the time they are involved in negative behavior. So after sometimes you feel bad that you are not able to help them. So what to do in that state? I'll take that question, Asha. So I will tell you one thing, Shika, is that we are not here to fix anybody. We extend ourselves to the universe, and the universe brings us whomever requires us. Maybe you're not the tool for them. There is someone else waiting there. Don't feel you haven't helped. Don't feel bad about your advancement in the healing process. Allow them to come around. They should ask for help. If you just extend yourself, they just find it very interfering. But in the same time, don't judge them. Don't say maybe they still not in process, still not there. That is their own life. When you drop that judgment and look at them with loving care, you will just find it so easy to accept them. They're just being in surface level, they're bringing something out. They're shouting because there's something within them that needs to bring it out, and that is the way they do it. So I would just say, give them time, then they will come around. And don't feel guilt. Don't feel guilty that you are in a better state. They will also come there. Your energies will be infectious. They will want to come into your state. There's so many times people tell me, hey, I find you in this nice state. I want to also get here. And immediately then I start helping them. So they need to ask. You can offer, but don't tell them you're not yet there. People don't like it. So Neelam is asking for IBS, is it okay to eat raw food or it can have issues with digestion?
I think a lot of people are not able to digest raw foods when they are having IBS. So, if that is the case, you can have some steamed vegetables and slowly make the transition towards raw food. Don't jump from eating a lot of cooked and processed food right away to raw if it's giving you problems. You can have a mid path transition to something steamed and lightly spiced and cooked conservatively, and then you can move towards raw foods.
Yes, definitely. And it really helps. And you have to be gentle with your body. You
Yeah.
can't say just have raw food. Your body has to go from eating highly refined food, you can't jump to raw food. So you need to go through the process the way she said it. Come down one step at a time, and finally your body will be ready to take that live food. So Ram Iyer is asking how to bounce back and be positive when you lose a loved one. Is there really always a way out?
It's a difficult question, I know. But I believe every soul has its own journey in life, its own plan, and we do not know why things happen in a certain way. We can only be supportive, we can only accept what has happened, and rather than focus on what we have lost, I think we can build our memories with the happy times we had with them, the love and care we shared with each other. I think when we focus on that, the pain of losing will decrease. And, over time, this is also going to change. New people are going to come in your life. So be accepting of all the changes. Life is never going to be static. It's all about change. So every change, whether it's good or bad, is always there for a reason to teach us something. That's what I feel.
Personally, Ram, I would really tell you to do a gratitude box. Make that gratitude box and drop all those chits about whomever you lost. And you'll be so amazed. Every time you miss that person, pick that nice memory and read it, and you'll feel a lot better. And we have no control on when somebody leaves. And we just hope that they are in a better space. So try a gratitude box and you'll feel a lot better. One of the remedies that Asha gave you. Shraddha Raw, in COVID-19, is it advisable to eat raw? Maybe you could ask them to join the salad revolution. Okay. So, of course, you can eat raw. We are all eating raw, and we have the revolution happening every month end. So, people who are wanting to do raw food, yeah, you should try salad revolution. You'll really benefit from that. And again, it's a free event. Uh, Anuradha Mehra is asking, when lies are told frequently by your spouse and want to let you down and taken you for granted, what is to be done? So
Mm.
this is a very personal question where somebody feels very let down by what others are doing to them, and they feel that they're taken for granted, and this creates a low grade sadness in them or anxiousness in them. That I think that's what Anuradha is trying to tell. Anuradha, what you see in front of them is their path. If they choose to lie to you, it is their choice. You can choose to just go by the truth. And if you know what is happening, and if you're unable to tell the person that they are lying, again, drop your judgment and focus on the best things that are happening to you. And all these things will flake away. Again, try a gratitude box because you need to understand what is good about the present life. Shifa
Anuradha,
and
if
Ram
I
both are
may,
thanking you.
thank you. Anuradha, if I may add to this, please, if you have not read this book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, please do read that, where she talks about how everything happening externally is a mirror of what is there internally within you. Uh, Maybe there are some self esteem issues also. So please read that book, do the exercises which she has mentioned. And believe me, that was one of the very few books which gave me such a uh, big, such a lot of peace in my heart. And we can always find the peace, safe space within ourselves. I think that's a good thing to try. Please read that, get a copy of that book and read it if you haven't done so.
Yes. Reading books, listening to motivational speakers, or just reading quotes. Beautiful things happen to me when I read a quote. It's just a two-liner. And then something within me opens up. And then I'm able to transcend and think about so many other things. So, whatever appeals to you, do that. Don't try to do what others did. As I said, these are all just pointers of the ways you can go, and you can find your own way. Maybe if you are a good writer, write yourself a story, or write things about your life, and it can be very, very interesting. So we are